This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. It's reported in the Observer that Barry Windham had a meeting with Vince, and of course we know he's eventually going to return as the Stalker. Are you reaching out to Barry, or is Barry calling you?
Barry was calling us, and it was also, one of those, I always thought Barry Windham was an incredible talent, man. Just another guy that had charisma oozing out the ass, and in a very... If you ever meet Barry, man, you walk away feeling like he'll remember you forever. And just Barry has that way with people. Barry is one of the most likable humans I've ever had the pleasure to be around. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was, hey, they got anything? It's like, hey, Barry, you interested? Yeah, come on in. Let's talk.
Are you having... What's the context of those conversations with a guy like Barry Windham? Is it all about, the money and the number of dates? Is it more about creative? Do you have a goals type conversation? What's that look like for a guy like Barry?
Really, man, in these years at this time, there never was a, hey, this is how much money you're going to make. That didn't take place. That was, wanted to come to work. Hey, I'd like to come into the territory, if you will, but I'd like to come work for your company. And the guys understood. Business made money, the talent made money, and that's how it worked. For a guy like Barry, it was, come on in. What do you want to do? How do you see yourself? I think that both Barry and us, we both thought that, hey, bringing Barry Windham back, I don't know how special that is and how much that's going to mean. So what kind of character, how could we put a fresh paint of coat on Barry?
Right. And you land on the Stalker. And I think you've told us before that came from just a meeting where Vince is trying to get to know Barry. What do you like to do type of thing, right?
Barry was living out on this compound with his then wife, I believe. May still be married for all I know. I don't know. But this just 300 acres or whatever of Florida, Georgia land. And you go out there and all Barry did was hunt and fish. That's all he was doing. But he would talk about like stalking the animals and, like, oh my God, I got this boar on my land. And this sumbitch is eating my deer. It's eating this. It's doing that. And he would stalk animals, and he would go out and hunt. He liked to hunt the very basics, bow and arrow and knife. And, he hunted with, it's funny, while he did that, he always had a couple guns on his hip just to make sure for the snakes and everything else that was around. But it was a cool place, and the more we started talking and we started thinking about different things and came up with ideas for these vignettes with this camo paint, and you put him in situations out in the wild where you can't see him and he appears out of nowhere and you think you're looking at him, but it's really a reflection in the water. Just different concept shit that became the Stalker.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.